And it is a Loughborough Lightning side with Helen Nelson ready to get things started. Our referee for this one is Hamish Grant, assisted by Daryl Chapman and Simon Park. In fact, the ball is just lost over the shoulder. No Helena Rowland for Loughborough Lightning, and I saw her getting out of the car earlier with crutches. It may well be a while. Momentary juggle from Chloe Rowley, but she's managed to just come through the gap there, weaving her way through the forest of blue and yellow shirts, but that was excellent. And then it's Christine Belisle with the colourful hair, and out to the wider channels goes Blue Matatonga, moved into that 13 channel from 12, the USA International. Familiar frame of Rachel Malcolm just setting up the platform in the middle as Nelson looks to try and link once again with Rowley. Coming in off the left side, Caris Williams-Morris. Nelson, this is a really solid start. Belisle was waiting in the middle, looking for quicker ball here.
Thank you. Make sure you mind the back foot.
Not quite allowed to put the pressure on as Worcester Warriors are sent back. Sally Cabello using the footwork. So used to seeing her smashing people, clearing out rucks, but that was a bit more of the delicate stuff from the English Open side. The ball's just been laid back just in time, and Jess Weaver is still making yards. This is a really promising start from Loughborough Lightning as they look to drive through Moana Tally. Belisle will play scrum half. Nelson looking to find the gap. Leah Bartlett will ride it. Nelson, the little dummy herself, thought it might be on. Then it goes wider from Goldthorpe. Alarm bells ringing for the University of Worcester Warriors here. Another little turn and change into the contact from Rachel Malcolm. Good counter ruck here though from Worcester, and that is an entirely legal win of the ball. That is superb work. Cara Brinker laying it back, and a chance for Mattinson to clear, but it's just going to find Chloe Rowley, who gets the call from Nelson, and then Bo Westcombe-Evans, and then finding a little bit more room on the right side. Matatonga again. Weaver wanted to try and go herself. Worcester Warriors gold and blue shirts spread out across the park. It's a little slower that time, but Loughborough have left 3 or 4 bodies out to the right. They're not going to get it though. Belisle once again popping up in midfield. 21 cap Scottish international, starting against the likes of Wales and Australia in that World Cup. Now Cabello just looking to try and free the footwork. Little chip through from Weaver. Well, there was a penalty advantage being played. Might take a breath, Katie, if that's all right.
Just earned your money there, Nick, haven't you? I mean, what a start from Loughborough though there. For me, what I am really enjoying to see is how much Loughborough are stretching it. We look at here, we look at Matatonga there, she's just coming off that right foot, stepping into the space, and because Loughborough are moving the ball so wide, they're forcing Worcester to have bigger space in. So we saw Sarja Cabello with a little half break, we saw Matatonga there. And as we see Loughborough kick to the line out, it'll be interesting to see what they do here, but we know that they really want to stretch this Worcester side early doors.
It's certainly a trick we're seeing from more and more of the sides in the Premier 15s. Exeter Chiefs doing it particularly well from side to side. Loughborough Lightning turning down the opportunity for anything other than putting it into the corner. Very happy to back their catch and drive.
Okay, that's one stopped.
Not entirely sure it's going to get the chance to keep going, so it will be popped up.
Not on the ball.
Wasn't quite going to work for Bryony Field. Goldthorpe was there, but now Nelson. Rowley looking to give the stop and go, and then give the pass. It's brilliant, attracting 2 defenders and allowing room for Westcombe-Evans. Loughborough Lightning on the board, and vindication of the decision to go into the corner.
Yeah, massively so. I think it all obviously starts from the way Loughborough opened the possession, but if we look at the line now, you know, they've been so dominant. Bryony field has scored 6 tries in 7 games from that line out, and what I really enjoy is just how much of the stretch in the ball. But for me, that try was made by Chloe Rowley. You know, we see the start point, it's moved well, again stretching the space, the pushing Worcester to really defend out wide, but it's that little step, isn't it? It's the way she stops, she decelerates, and then she accelerates, and all she does is she creates that 2-on-1 on the edge, and it, like you say, it is a walk-in for Westcombe Evans. But for me, Chloe Rowley has started extremely brightly for Loughborough today, and probably something that Worcester will be talking about now, just not kicking loosely to her, because as we saw in that opening 2 minutes, her ability to see space and her footwork to support it is amazing.
We got to enjoy Ellie Kildunn last week at the Stoop, giving it the stop-go. Extra 2 points from Helen Nelson. Lightning 7 points on the board.
It's an amazing skill, isn't it, that the girls have, especially in your back three, to be able to decelerate so quickly to then go again. And for me, something I never had in my game, as you will know, Nick, but the way she just stands the player up here, you know, you think you've got her to one-on-one, and then she just beats the outside, and the other defender has no other opportunity than to step in.
I remember a Daly McLean score at the Stone X where you were absolutely flying down the middle of the field.
Very kind of you, I'll pay you later.
I mean, I don't know if there was a step involved, but you certainly looked quicker than I remembered.
He steps away.
Ball is a little loose, and it is going to end up being a chance for Worcester Warriors. Oh, it's a good counter drive, but
no advantage.
knock on had already been affected.
Good counter right by Loughborough, no advantage.
Referee for me, they're brilliant, you know, the clear, concise comms for me, and it's the referees that we're starting to see in the Prem definitely this season has been great, you know, it makes it so much easier when referees are explaining their decisions, and as a player that's kind of one of the things you thrive on, because it just allows you to make good decisions.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
In from Mattinson.
Just slipped here, let's go, put it away!
Referee wants it played. Scrum was on the rotation.
We've just gone round on the mark.
Fascinating seeing the likes of Sadia Kabir, isn't it? Really upping the tempo, upping the comms, all of that leadership skills she's learned through her time with the Red Roses.
Yeah, and you know, having the opportunity to work with people like Rachel, Malcolm, Sarah and Emma Vassell will just accelerate her learning. I think the other thing for me is the size of Sadia Kabir. I remember watching her last season, but the muscle mass that she's now carrying, and you know, one of the most dominant hitters in the Premiership, and you can see why. And we're what, 20-30 metres away up in the God somewhere?
Bind!
Tucking down on that far side.
Set!
Still only a handful of caps for England as well, it's worth remembering. Just at the start of her Red Roses journey. One of those picking, a former Red Rose, Jo Brown, of course, won 7 caps with England, now an Irish international, one of those able to benefit from the eligibility change from World Rugby. They wanted to get the run around there, it was nearly going to work for Vicky Laughlin, just trying to get around Abby Kershaw, who's moved back into the full-back position. She's been largely starting at 10. Now Lydia Thompson, she knows how to find a gap. She's being tracked down by Rachel Malcolm, who I think was pretty pleased that the cavalry was there to aid the effort. Back in goes Brown. Now the Women's Rugby Association rep, after those representatives were announced week before last. Now penalty advantage being played. It was a potential high tackle.
Taken back into the half.
Away from Mattinson. They may have numbers here. Well, they've not quite managed to hold on to the space there. It probably needed to go through the hands to commit the final defenders. Made it a little easy for Karis Williams-Morris to defend, but they had a penalty advantage.
Yeah, and Worcester have started very similar in the way that Loughborough have, haven't they? They want to throw the ball around, they want to go to the wide channels. Here you see them again in that 5-metre channel, and just taking defenders on. And for me, I think it's really, really important. You know, Laughlin is a very good runner. We know how great she is under a high ball. So I think that could be a really interesting battle between Williams-Morris and Laughlin out there.
Yeah, they're very pleased to have Laughlin back. She was going very well with 4 tries in the league, a try in the cup before she picked up concussion against Worcester Harpreet.
I'll give you time to adjust.
Sarah Hunter there, straight into the referee, asking about the gap.
An old pro, isn't she? Things like that now.
Quite right too. Option in the middle didn't quite work out. Is it going to work out for Loughborough? Yes, it is. It's going to be a quick pick-up from Karis Cox. Little tip-on, working in tandem, Brown and McCarthy.
Tackle! Thanks, Dan.
Little slap of the hands from Minori Yamamoto. Can they make it work out on that far right-hand side?
Ripped in the tackle, ripped.
Oh, it's come back.
She's inside.
Through the tackle. That will do as far as Loughborough Lightning clearance is concerned. Worcester Warriors getting themselves into positions. They just seem a little shorn of accuracy in terms of the numbers and the space they're creating down those shorter sides at times.
Yeah, something you very rarely see there, isn't it? Lydia Thompson being ripped in that case, and that ball from Chloe Rowley, she would have been desperate for that to bounce and stay in. But yeah, some bright sparks we're seeing from Worcester. Probably just need a bit better ball retention, I think, especially when they're getting into 22s and red zones. They're just going to want to have a bit more accuracy, ball in hand.
Forward in the tackle, not sure if the referee saw it, but Yamamoto right it into contact, and that's certainly something that Lana Skeldon won't shy away from doing as she meets the ruck. Then the little pump of the ball, and might just create an opportunity for Worcester, but Welsh international Natalia John will take the tackle. Vicky Laughlin's just got to be careful she doesn't overrun the support line there and cut down the passing option. Back in field it comes, good physicality and feet from Cara Brinker. Former England under-20s of 7 appearances. Joined Worcester when it was, of course, the Valkyries a few years ago. Back in for Akina Gondwe, who's looking to make that challenge straight into the tackle of Sadia Kabea. It's there again, it's excellent follow-up on the tackle from Fran Goldthorpe, just as Brinkat thought she might be able to get around her. Chip over the top, straight down the throat of Chloe Rowley. Looked to try and dance either way, but Laughlin did well just to stay steady and balanced in the face of the fleet-footed Scot. Kabea. Solid collision in midfield, isn't it? Elizabeth Sherman and Moana Talling and John, I should say. Nelson. Atkinson was well positioned. Worcester looking to try and run it across the back as Kershaw plays it. Someone needs to straighten up. They've only met the most capped England player in Sarah Hunter. And that's a slightly better line and an opportunity to get in behind that first line of defence. And Matheson has a little look over this ruck. There's only one way it's going, but it's got a little more aerial than deep, and invites Chloe Rowley to come forward. All they've done really is hand possession over here, just as Siobhan McCarthy stays down for Worcester. Oh, there is a knock-on, and is there going to be any room? Oh, the ball smuggled out the back. They were trying to send Canadian international Paige Farris away.
Time's off, we got a head injury.
Just wouldn't quite sit as
first by Loughborough.
Siobhan McCarthy just stays down. One of the defensive leaders with Karis Cox is McCarthy, former interprovincial winner with Munster, who joined this season. Got a PhD in molecular biology. Not quite sure how many of the men's players in the Premiership we can talk about with that, but
wow,
that's what you get in the Premier 15s.
That's serious, isn't it? That's not just a I've just popped to uni for 3 years kind of degree.
That's not being a PE teacher, no, is it?
No, it's not a sports studies degree at all.
I'm going to get in trouble unless I say full respect to all the teachers out there, of course. I say it tongue in cheek.
Quickly.
Yes, exactly. Full respect required.
You're frightened, aren't you, looking at your Twitter now?
Well, Loughborough Lightning just having a chance to regroup, have a bit of a chat. Signed Annabelle Cody this week, news of the 6-foot Wallaroo, first to join Lightning. She was earning her 5th cap against South Africa at
Mike ain't got an HIA.
Rugby World Cup was Moana Talling, but she's no doubt going to feel under pressure from a Wallaroo coming into camp and competing in that area.
It's another great signing from Loughborough in that pack, isn't it? If you look at, you've got Vassal, you've got Moana Talling, you've got Kath O'Donnell in there, you've got Sarah Saboda, and they're all in that kind of back rowy second row, and all very big ladies.
First performance by them.
Yes. Not running down my channel, thank you very much.
Something I would have said.
Yeah.
I've been told it's an HIA,
McCarthy
we'll just get the doctor to confirm with Mike.
is
Blood and HIA.
taken a bash to the conch by the looks of it. So, we will have what,
Thank you very much.
maybe a temporary change, and it's Portuguese international Sara Moreira who comes onto the field, former Cardiff Met University in her 4th year with the club. She was back onto the bench having missed the Saracens game. She's going to get an early taste of the action.
Okay, time back on. Just on the corner, right on the corner there, yeah. First knock on was by Pink, blue scrum.
Let's go then, let's go, let's go!
Scrum success from both of these sides is about equal as far as it's been over the course of the season, according to our friends at Opta.
Bind. Too early.
Early engaged from the home side.
Balance.
Hamish Grant wants them to hold their balance a little longer, so Sarah Hunter will quickly tap and it will go through Nelson and then find a little more room. Matai Tonga then looking to try and find room for Williams Morris. Then Hunter arrives, just pops it up. Her front row colleague, Bartlett.
Bouncers. You're okay. She's got to roll first.
Penalty goes against Carmen Tremelling.
Number 3.
And you could just see the little look from Jess Weaver to the referee there, couldn't you?
Yeah, in her head she's seen so that's 3 or 4 of those now.
Thank you.
How many?
Into the 22, Loughborough Lightning again. And that's very nicely done to Rachel Malcolm. To engage it.
Purple to floor. Play away now. Play away too. Play away. Thank you.
Very keen for them to play. You can hear from the referee.
On the body, not the ball. You're on the body.
Skeldon not rewarded. In they go again. Gondway. Body on the line for the tackle. Then it's up for Emma Wassel. Cabella lurking. Just suddenly gets down and engages in that 1.5 meters before the contact. Nelson looking for the switch with Rowley. Step to the left. Chloe Rowley. Oh, it's lovely. Balletic from the Scottish fullback. And Loughborough Lightning get their 2nd try of the day.
Oh, Chloe Rowley is on fire, isn't she? I mean, again, we could talk about the line-out, we can talk about the forward play that set it up, you know. But again, this is all coming from Loughborough's ability to keep the ball. If we go back earlier phases, you know, the stretch from Worcester early doors to then get a penalty. But this is absolutely, it's moved away. Big carry from Sadia Kabir again. Joe Brown hauls her down. But again, quick ball. We talked about the ruck speed of Loughborough. Ball's moved away. And for me, it's that lovely little delay change of line. We would have called that a rangy. 2 players going up and out. Somebody coming back on a different line. And again, Chloe Worley's feet is phenomenal, you know. She just again, decelerates, accelerates, drops her shoulder, and she's in untouched under the post. What a lovely try.
2 points then from Helen Nelson. Takes her just a point shy of 40 points for the season so far. There was a try-scoring debut for Rowley in terms of coming back post-World Cup. Her first game back since breaking her arm at the Rugby World Cup, and well, 2 in 2 games for a back three player. She'll be pretty pleased with that.
On 10, back off blue. Still back off blue.
Kept back in field really nicely. Moreira, is uncompromisingly driven backwards, and then the counter right from Loughborough Lightning, the hunger.
Taken back into the half.
Really on show, Matai Tonga.
Again, it's Sarah Hunter and Morwenna Talon in that tackle, and you do two people you do not want to run into, and then counter-up was phenomenal.
Certainly was. Then Nelson then looking for Malcolm once more. They're going to go back from where they came. Certainly seeing a lot of bright selection of direction from Matai Tonga as well, getting the ball in those wider channels.
Carry back.
Back for Nelson, a little deeper, wants to put it into the air, wants to ask some questions. A rangy figure, Vicky Laughlin, arguably making more metres than she should have been allowed, but then we've got a good old collision. Gondway into Bartlett. Ball was out though. Loughborough Lightning are just showing themselves to be a little more street smart so far at Six Ways, as Malcolm gets the familiar call from Nelson, who was running at depth, and then Matai Tonga looking at free the arm. That's lovely offloading to find Caris Williams-Morris, driven back in the tackle. It's going to need someone else to just give it go forwards, and Bryony Field will answer that call, but players going off their feet to secure it, and for all the good that Loughborough do through Matai Tonga and then coming back in field, it will be Worcester's ball, but that was some lovely stuff.
Again, really lovely play. Now, I think the difference of the two sides at the moment is just how accurate Loughborough are with the ball. You know, they're looking after the ball, they've got great breakdown speed, and it's just Worcester not having any opportunity to get off the line and to be able to pressure Loughborough's skill set at the moment. You know, the counter ruck is good, speed of ball, and Loughborough at the moment have all the momentum. I think in that situation it was Loughborough's own speed that's got them in problems, you know, hands on the ground, and in this case, thought she'd miss touch, but no. Like, scrum. So again, had missed touch, but Caris knocked it forward.
Glad we've got to the bottom of that.
Yeah, harder than it should have been.
Set! Offside. I don't need to revise every time. Just get that space right, okay? Get that space right, make sure our feet are underneath us, please.
Let's go again, this is
Both
hard.
sides.
Worcester Warriors, who had engaged early on a recent previous scrum, and want to ensure that they're technically whiter than white. They've got this opportunity for first phase ball. Backs are all steeply lined,
Crouch!
ready to make the most of it.
Bind! Set! Let's go, Nat, come on. Just gone sideways, let's please play it, thank you.
Now the ball is there. And it will come for Yamamoto. Farris was the option, but Yamamoto gets it on the run around. It was the preordained move, but it's good awareness from Abby Kershaw to just straighten it up when the defence had shot up into the outside channel. Then Lydia Thompson. Now they'll come away to the right. It'll bounce a little, but that won't matter too much. Anna Skeldon will happily tidy it up for the home side. Nice flat one across the face for Natalia John to get on, joined from Bristol Bears last summer, the 33 capped Welsh woman, and that's a lovely right-hand fend to then get the ball to Laughlin, who's got to try and stay in field, or just the boot, kissing the whitewash down the side, doing everything she could to stay in.
I think Vicky Laughlin is probably one of them players in the Premiership that's really underrated. You know, when you actually watch her play and the amount of meters she gets through from Worcester, it's phenomenal. I think you touched on it earlier. She shouldn't make the ground she makes, and again we look at this lovely little offload from Cox, again getting the hands free. So close to stay in the field of play there, but like you say, boot just touches it. But for me, I really enjoy watching her play that rangy style, and like you say, the stance of her probably shouldn't make the mark meters she does.
Oh, now the overthrow has worked out very nicely for one Alana Skeldon and Bristol, and Worcester. They could have a little bit of room on the right here. It might need to go if they're going to take advantage of slightly short-handed Loughborough Lightning defence, but now they've managed to spread their way over there a little more. Dummy back in field from Karis Cox. Yamamoto looking to try and pull the strings as it's John once more into the 22. Mattinson, Yamamoto. Oh, that was little jink to turn it back in field, and hear the referee say that Karis Cox has got the right to get back to her feet as the tackle's not complete. Now they might come to the right again. John again with the carry, brought down by Matai Tonga. Now penalty advantage, and
he must come back through the gate.
It's going to be an immediate take from Mattinson, and it is going to be quick thinking, and it is going to lead to the try. Mattinson with the quick tap, Kershaw on the shoulder.
Make sure
University of Worcester Warriors hit back.
Smart thinking from Katie Mattison there, wasn't it? You know, that's the first time we've seen Worcester get through multiple phases, came through a Loughborough error, but they just kept a hold of the ball, got round the corner, and for me, that's what you want. You want your nine to be adding tempo. In this situation here, as soon as she knows ball's on her foot, the players have got to retreat, they've got to work hard, and then it's a case of lovely little line from Abby Kershaw there, and she's just almost like walks over, doesn't she?
If anybody's wondering why the likes of Emma Wassell was stood watching, well, of course, from the moment the penalty was awarded, the players have to get back 10 metres, arguably in that area of the field. Had they tried to attempt to tackle within the 10 metres, they had not retired. Well, I dare say the referee might have considered the yellow card, so had to show discipline, let the player run, and quick thinking from Mattinson, sensing the defence hadn't responded quick enough, led to the try from Kershaw. Proud graduate of the Worcester Pathway programme, Abby Kershaw. And now this will be a chance for Minoru Yamamoto. Of course, while there's been plenty of emotion around the club over the last few months, there's plenty of administration as well, and having to rearrange visas and all that sort of thing. Been a distraction as well, but all sorted. The likes of Yamamoto able to profit, only been in the country a couple of weeks again recently, but back into the lineup and back on the score sheet. 2 points for the conversion. Worcester Warriors 7, Loughborough Lightning 14. Good take from John, tackle from Hunter. Cabella with the counter ruck, really good timing from the Red Rose, but they're able to ride it, Worcester. And that will put a real spring in their step with that score. Ball's just been
before the tackle was
forward.
complete.
Cabella and Slow Long, who just lost control. And if you're wondering, Long has come on for Akina Gondwe, and Gondwe was only ever going to be playing about the first 20-25 minutes or so. And then, it's a little bit of footwork, almost stepping herself to the floor. Fran Goldthorpe. Belial. Nelson. Deeper for Matai Tonga. Out in front of Moana Talling. Cabella striding through. She's just cooking along at a solid 8 out of 10 in this game so far, isn't she, Sadia Kabir? You sense that any moment now she's going to break into even more as Talon combines with her once more, looking to just try and draw in the last defender, but Wescombe Evans already on the score sheet, coming back in field away from the whitewash. Hunter, the link player once more, as she so often is. Field managing to get a central position once more. Wassell was on the inside shoulder of Nelson. Scottish internationals combining well. Back it comes for another one. Belial. 5 metres out now. Wassell once more. Double hit on her from Worcester. Harris Cox was certainly trying to effect the turnover. Cabea coming onto it. Tackle had to be solid.
No advantage.
Good enough spoil, but we were under penalty advantage. Worcester have got to roll away.
Tackler's got to roll. Jackler was okay again. Got to roll away first.
It's a central position this for Loughborough Lightning. You wonder what the option is going to be. Well, Helen Nelson fancy 3 points. Certainly the players are fanning out as if there might be a little more on the cards.
I think she's going for the line out here.
Not risking too much. Safety first.
Just make sure we're moving, okay? Same for you,
So
same for them.
you can, obviously we know Loughborough's line out has been pretty dominant, and to be honest, it's a good stat for them. You know, they're working at a much higher line out accuracy than Loughborough. Than Worcester, sorry, 84% this season compared to 73 of Worcester.
Well, it's certainly looking to be pretty effective now as they get ever closer to the line, and it's Bryony Field who will finish it off. Unchanged front row for Loughborough Lightning, and it's unchanged as far as Field is concerned. A 7th try of the season. Quite a few of them have looked like that.
I would say all of them.
Yeah.
What is really interesting, you know, a really good setup, but the battle of this pack, we obviously know Steve Hansley used to be at Loughborough, is now the Worcester forwards coach as well, so I think it'll be fascinating to see what work Worcester have done on that Loughborough lineup, because he was integral along with Sarah Hunter, Kath O'Donnell, and really developing the dominance that Loughborough have showed with their lineup, but they're absolutely unstoppable. Yeah,
Steve Halsey, one of the staff alongside Joe Yapp, Sean Moore, also with Worcester, but it's Loughborough Lightning who, with a few of their returning stars after a pretty difficult start to the season, are very much looking up the table, and certainly with a 3rd try inside half an hour, they've got their eye on maximum points this afternoon. Nelson. You can tell by how quickly the assistant referees were running away there that it was obviously nothing that needed a second look.
So true. From this I was like, oh, could be close, but like you say, they set off very early, didn't they?
Another look at the try.
I really enjoy the setup of Loughborough. You know, Worcester have done a really good job to try and shift that back to the touchline, but because of Loughborough's how strong they are and how much they've set up is really tight, doesn't allow that movement to get them into touch. It just allows Bryony Fields to sit there and kind of enjoy the ride almost.
Well, that's found a bit of turf, and
2 knock-ons.
fortunately for Vicky Laffin, she got a left hand to it, but it just went forwards. We'll give Loughborough Lightning the benefit of the scrum. Well, that wasn't the greatest restart receipt.
No, but what a kick again from Yamamoto there. That's the 2nd, 3rd one we've seen today where she's dropped it in exactly the same space, and Loughborough just haven't reacted to it. Nobody's gone and stood there early, and we know with Vicky Laffin that she's extremely good at aerial as well. Just unlucky there, that was probably just a little bit too far ahead of her.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Well, the referee's losing patience with Worcester Warriors at scrum time.
This side, number 18.
It's gone against Flo Long, and should be hoping for better. Quite crucially.
Okay,
Loughborough mistouch, and that one has come flying off the outside of Kershaw's boot. It's into no man's land and needs someone to claim it. And this may well result in an immediate maul.
Tackle! Release Worcester! Thank you, good work.
Wassel then with a carry. Back they come. Leah Bartlett.
We're in the half.
Feeding it on. Arm was up from Belial. She wanted it back on the other side. And then Emma Wassel, 60 caps for Scotland. But turnover is good.
Holding on. Number 5, first player.
Loughborough Lightning have the
Holding on.
lowest and best record, you would say, in terms of being conceded at turnover time. But Worcester nicked that one.
However, Worcester are the...
Sorry, my turnover department has arrived with a contrary stat.
Hang on.
Here they are.
Yes, have the most turnovers on average in the league.
There you go.
Yeah, so actually phenomenal bat, and we would argue right now that Worcester are edging that, or
Fire.
continuing with it.
Fire meeting fire. And that's just in the commentary box.
Yeah, that's because you brought your own hot chocolate and none for me.
Tackle not complete.
It's not my best mix.
Makes me so happy.
Flow long. Mattinson. Just lining up in the midfield. Nelson putting the tackle in. Yamamoto wants it. Paige Farris onto the ball. Big hit into Matai Tonga. Little show, not sure it was entirely on for Kershaw there.
Tackle!
But it's a good drive to get the ball to ground from Worcester, and they won't mind that at all. Just popped up for Moreira.
No one release!
Farris, it's a really good take.
Thank you, man.
Excellent from Joe Brown.
We're going to play rugby.
Things just seem to have paused for a moment.
I think Katie Matteson wanted that penalty advantage, and the referee has told her that she's not getting it. They're playing rugby.
Give it 10. You run into
Well, now it's another tap. It's a little further out from where Matteson took the quick go last time. Hunter tries to slow down Lana Skeldon. Needs to be wary of it being a bit of a seatbelt hit. As Brown presents the ball on the floor. Then it's there for Yamamoto. University of Worcester Warriors sensing another one, but Matai Tonga straight up with the hit on Farris. She did well to hold on to it. And then look at it come through the hole. Oh, Laughlin loses it. It just went forward.
First defence is a knock-on.
You may have heard the referee say Loughborough Lightning can't play the ball on the floor through Sadia Kabea, so the initial offence was just a knock-on.
And I give. This one.
Right, we've got to get back on that pen, yeah.
Oh, it's collapsed. It's dangerous.
Interesting discussion there between Katie Matteson and the referee about asking for the penalty advantage. So obviously penalty advantage, bottom right hand corner, she's asking the referee that she doesn't want to play anymore, she wants the penalty advantage, and he's saying, in his interpretation, he wants them to continue to play rugby.
I imagine that conversation is going to go on for the remaining 45 minutes of this match. But perhaps the man with the whistle is going to be the one to come out on top of it.
Very diplomatic of you.
Bind. Set. Hang on. Okay. That time, feet too far back, you've got to make sure you're up as well. Both of you have gone down. We need to be better than that, please. Come on.
University of Worcester Warriors beat Loughborough Lightning twice last season, 34 points to 22 here last May, 14 points to 18 victory away. They have lost the last two at home in the league, so looking to try and right that record. Interesting, looking back at the last four results, they're either losing by 50 or winning by 50, so they'll certainly want to stay in the fight here, given that they're currently behind on the scoreboard.
Bind. Set. Stay up here, stay up.
Big shove from
Balls out.
Warriors, Sarah Hunter. Just looks to control. Back for Nelson. No, she can't go for touch, but comes back for Kershaw. Plenty of options now. Lydia Thompson coming back to the same side. Needs to straighten and does. Brinkat. option from Elizabeth Sherman. They've only got 2 outside at the minute. The first dummy from Kershaw was nice, but they're going to need to get the cavalry there in number, and now they are. But still not too many options as Karis Cox comes around the corner. Kick is a little bit of a last resort option. Worcester just losing structure there slightly as Chloe Rowley boots it downfield, and Laughlin just waits for it to sit up. Has Kershaw on the left side. It's a really good follow-up from Chloe Rowley. Now then, is it going to open up in the middle? Oh, it's decent enough running. Just to try and set Worcester Warriors back on that front foot. And it goes from Brinkat to John. Really having a look at that right-hand side a lot, Warriors, but they don't always have the numbers and execution so far. Penalty to the home side once more, and Loughborough Lightning need to be careful of the discipline. They've got a slightly better record in that area coming into this one. About 10 penalties a game.
Never onside.
Worcester closer to 12, but certainly asking the question of Lightning.
It is, and at the moment, for me, I think Worcester are their own worst enemies. Katie Mattinson really wants to up the tempo, but at the moment, especially our forwards are struggling to match that tempo she wants from them. You know, she's getting around the corner, they're losing numbers, and they kind of just force themselves to play. Like we say, with that kick, didn't really have any other options. So I wonder if they just need to try and find that middle ground of quick tempo, yes, but when they have a bit of shape and a bit of structure to play to.
Voice of Rugby World Cup winner Katie Daly-McLean with us here at Six Ways as they look to break quickly. Need to be careful not to get isolated in the middle, but it's a solid few metres from Karis Cox. Now Yamamoto for Faris, who a couple of times has done well to just offload it and absorb the tackle. Thompson then for Kershaw, straightening through the middle. Sarah Moreira. Oh, Flo Long's just lost control of it. Had a couple of interventions, Long, that she'd probably like to forget.
I thought Cox at 12 has been really bright, though. You know, all the good stuff that's come from Worcester's play so far, she's been integral to it. You know, she's carrying well, she's linking well. The other thing that I'm enjoying seeing from Worcester as well, that they're dropping their wingers into the centres. We saw Lydia Thompson a couple of times playing that playmaker, and I think all she's trying to do is to see if there's any half gaps she can accelerate into. But Loughborough's defence is pretty, it's on it, isn't it? It's dominant, it's organised, it's getting off the line, and it's really kind of keeping Worcester quiet at the moment.
How have you found in your coaching roles the development of the rugby IQ and attacking defence? Because speaking to the likes of Sean Lynn and Susie Appleby over the past couple of games I've been on, and looking at the sort of extra width that Loughborough clearly wanted to put on it, it seems that there's more sophisticated thinking and execution going on in the Premier 15s and in the women's game than perhaps we've had up to this point.
Yeah, no, I think it's about that 1 to 15 now, isn't it? It's not just about backs or 10. Thinking about it, but I mean, come on, Sarah Hunter there off the base of the scrum was phenomenal.
Yeah, I think she realised how much of the pitch was left in front of her and decided she needed someone else to take it on. But this is excellent from Loughborough Lightning, from back in their own 22, and now over the halfway line, and Mathai Tonga wanting to get on her bike, and now Chloe Rowley sensing a chance to slice through the gap and back into the 22. Rowley drinking one way and then the other, but the final moment is a lost ball. And that will be the final moment of the first half. While it promised so much, Sarah Hunter is still catching her breath down below us. Oh, it could have been one of the scores of the season, but it won't be the fourth try and bonus point for Loughborough Lightning just yet. But it will be a solid first half display. Rachel Malcolm straight into the conversation with the officials, as any good captain will be in that scenario. And time for Joe Yapp and University of Worcester Warriors to get into the sheds, have a little think about things. They've certainly been at the races, they've been in the right areas of the park, but execution and everybody being quite on the same page in those wider channels has perhaps just let them down once or twice. As Katie Daly-McLean says, perhaps forwards just getting a little bit more with their co-captain and scrum half Katie Mattinson might just allow them to execute a little bit more. Half-time then, University of Worcester Warriors 7, Loughborough Lightning 19, and we'll hear the tries that we've had, starting with this one from Bo Westcombe-Evans.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about before, isn't it, from that Chloe Rowley stop and go, just that acceleration, and she just makes it really simple. She picks off the last defender, 2-on-1, and Bo Westcombe-Evans just has a walk in. But for me, all made from that Chloe Rowley stop and go.
Great skills from the Scottish fullback.
And again, it's just a stop and go. I know we keep referring to it, but as young attacking players, what you want to do is you want to be able to create even numbers, so 2-on-2s into 2-on-1s, and that's what she does. That's a 2-on-2, but with her footwork, it's absolutely brilliant. She, again, balls move nice and early. She gives herself time, and she just goes and picks after Laflanet, who can't do anything. She can't go backwards because she's on a try line. She's got to go and bite Chloe Rowley, and Bo Westcombe-Evans literally just has to catch in and a walk in. But for me, yeah, all made from Chloe Rowley.
She'll be buying her a drink later.
Indeed.
And then, well, Loughborough Lightning were certainly taking their opportunities to go into the corner when they could. And, well, it kept giving them platform after platform. Another carry from Sadia Cabello, but this time it was Helen Nelson who was on the end of it.
And again, we talked about Sadia Kabir, she's been integral. Chloe Rowley picks a try this time, but for me, again, it comes from that quick ball. We touched about Loughborough before, didn't we, about their ruck speed, and it comes from that Sadia Kabir carry. They get past it, Jess Weaver's gone, the ball's away, and we talked about this little play here, and all it is you're just trying to drag defenders. So again, Sadia Kabir carry 2 defenders. Joe Brown hauls her down, but has to get out of the way, and that ball has gone so quickly. Nobody's been able to fold. And Helen Nelson just drags 3 defenders, you can see in that shot, and you leave 1 defender. And with Chloe Rowley's footwork and acceleration, she just beats them for fun, doesn't she? Yeah. But for me, again, it's about the ruck speed. It's about not allowing defenders to fold around the corner, so the defensive line is getting shorter and shorter, and change of lines really, I suppose, it makes it difficult.
Helen Nelson running a switch there that would have had Emily Scarrett's name written all over it.
Loved ones like that girl.
We have seen Emily Scarrett here, if you're interested. She, of course, took a bit of a knock to the neck in that Wasps game, so we wish her all the best in her recovery. But this was Worcester Warriors hitting back, and the quick thinking of Katie Mattinson having earned that penalty and allowing Abby Kershaw to finish things off.
It's a sign of a good scrum half, isn't it? Got her head up nice and early. She knows she wants to go quickly. She's eye contact with the referee to make sure she's on the mark. Ball leaves her hand, and again, it's just the spread support, isn't it? As soon as he's tapped penalty, all bets are off. Everybody should be pedal to the medal, isn't it? And getting after your 9, and she did that very well.
And how Worcester Warriors would have loved to have gone into the sheds 14 points to 7, but Bryony Field doing what Bryony Field does with a 7th try of the season from the back of a rolling maul.
Yeah, I tried to explain this earlier and did a dreadful job, so I'm not sure I've got anything to add.
Yeah, bother redoing it? No.
No, nobody needs to hear it again.
They drove the ball and scored the try.
Didn't go into touch, yeah. She went over that really solid white line at the bottom of the pitch.
Top grade analysis is what you get from Katie Daly-McLean this afternoon.
I will get hammered, won't I, for that?
Ah, we love it. 3 tries then for Loughborough Lightning and 1 for the University of Worcester Warriors. 19 points to 7, the visitors have the lead. But we can now go down pitch side, because I understand that Amelia Buckland-Harry is with our reporter Lauren Smith. All yours, Lauren.
Cheers, Nick. You guys sound like you're having a right laugh up there in commentary, and oh, Amelia, I can imagine the laughing doesn't continue down pitch side right at the moment. Firstly, you're water girling.
I am, yes.
How's the experience?
It is quite stressful. It's not just water girling. I'm getting messages. I've got my kind of pockets full of gels and stuff like that, so I feel quite a lot of pressure, but no, it's nice.
How much is it about actually getting messages on field as well as actually delivering water and also the gels and things like that?
Absolutely, it's really key for us to bring in messages on. Like, we're obviously mic'd up to the coaches and things, so it's good to get that communication going, like, on pitch.
What was the last communication that you can share with us that you delivered to your team just before that half-time break?
It was when we were going to kick back off, so like we wanted to kick nice and short and get our winger up there to try and get the ball back, so that was the last message that I delivered on.
It's been, I mean, they're in part a good first half. We had that lovely try, but they're putting you under a lot of pressure at Loughborough. Where are you struggling to get a foothold?
I think they're putting lots and lots of pressure on us in our own breakdown, so we need to be stronger in that brace position because they're firing through to try and disrupt our ball, which is making us make quicker decisions than potentially that we want to. So we need to be a bit stronger and look after our own ball so that we can go play exactly the way we want to play.
I mean, the fact that that last try wasn't scored.
Yeah.
I mean, was that a little bit of a get out jail free card as far as you're concerned going into the break?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That was that went in our favour, didn't it? Yeah, that definitely helped going into the break.
Now, we saw Katie Maston. She's been pretty phenomenal throughout. She was a big part of that first try.
Absolutely.
But potentially, is she playing a little bit too fast for your forwards? Because there does seem to be an element of disconnect there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Katie Matt's a really instinctive player, and she's obviously got brilliant feet and she's really, really fast. But I think the forwards are maybe anticipating us kicking to the corner in that environment, so we just need to adapt quicker. If she is going to go quickly, we need to quickly buy into what she's doing and go with her.
What do you think they're going to be saying in that changing room?
Just tighten things up and play the way that we want to play. Like when we're in our own red zone, like we need to exit on our terms, and when we get into that goal zone, just taking like a nice deep breath and doing what we've been doing all week. Like we're looking to kick them into the corners and drive and get over that way, so we just need to take a deep breath and play what we plan to play.
How do you get that ball out? Because they've got a very quick defence, Loughborough, and they are catching you on the outside. How do you get your girls free? Because you have got some incredible runners out wide, and in Lapland, but also Paige Ferris down the centre.
Absolutely.
You know, there are real strike threats in your back line.
Yeah, gosh, our back three are incredible, aren't they, and so fast. I think we talked about just running with intent, so like when we're running off 9, let's move onto the ball, make gain line where we can, so we can eventually let those back three just have lots of space.
So, what's it going to take the second half to make up the difference?
Just tightening up and playing our own way. If we put our braces in and we keep hold of our own ball and play the way we want to, I think we can, you know, we're in with, like, this game is by no means over, like we're absolutely in with a chance. We just need to play things at our own tempo.
What's it been like being a Worcester player at the moment? Because obviously we speak loads to Joe Yap about it.
Yeah.
And it's been, I mean, awful, quite frankly, probably for everyone involved. What's it been like?
Look, like it has been tough. Like, sorry if I get like emotion. It has been really tough, but like I'm so proud of this group of girls. Like, I don't think that any club can have been through what we've been through and still stay together. We've not lost a player. We're so resilient as a group, and we're so close as well. Like, I think it's really brought us together and really brought us like unity as well. So in some ways, that's a brilliant plus for us, and it has been hard. But I think it's just made us come together closer as a group. I really mean that. I know people say that, but seriously, we've got an incredible team, like from staff all the way down. We've just gelled as a group. It has been really tough, but if anything, it's made us come together.
I mean, and none more so when you look at that Harlequins result, the Ross
Absolutely.
result after you just found out.
Oh my gosh,
potentially
yeah.
there wouldn't be a tournament next year for you.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we talked about that, is that actually at that point, we've been through so much already, like now's not the time to kind of roll over, like nothing, like we talk lots of times about being like a warrior mindset, and we're family, and it's trust and it's honesty, and that is us. And yeah, it is tough, but actually at that point we'd already been through so much, we're so resilient, that we just wanted to go out and show that we deserve to be in this league next year, and we really believe that.
And I think there's a lot of people who believe that too and are supporting you in this.
Yeah.
And one of them has come in as a sponsor to give you the stability that's required, and a 10-year plan has been put in place.
That's so exciting,
Relief
isn't it?
or excitement? What's the overall feeling with that?
Yeah, both of those things, relief and excitement. Obviously we're waiting for that kind of announcement in Feb, when like the RFU kind of announce who's going to be like the rest of, who's going to make up the rest of that Premier of 15s next year. But yeah, massive relief and like excitement, and they're a fantastic group, like company to support us. Like they're really, really behind us, and they've got really like innovative ideas to be the best we can be in that like 10-year plan. So it's hugely exciting, but obviously we're just waiting for the decision to be made in kind of February.
Yeah, what was the reaction on the WhatsApp group when that news came through?
That those 8 teams, or about the 10-year deal?
No, the fact that there's a 10-year deal and things.
Oh,
it's like a step in the right direction.
Gosh, yeah, massive excitement. They told us in the meeting room, and we were all so excited. Like, how good's that to like have somebody invested in you for that long? That's such like a. It felt like we deserved it. It felt like we'd earned it, because we did stick together so well, and it felt like it just felt amazing.
And not only that, but this entire 10-year plan, there's kind of real ambition.
Yeah.
I was chatting to a few of your coaching team off camera, and they were telling me that it's very much there are plans in place to not only for you, obviously you're emancipated, but to be the first self-sustainable club, whether that's women's or men's. What does that ambition mean to the players?
Oh, it means loads. Like we've got a really strong like essentially an academy, like our centre of excellence as well, and it just shows you that like we have got such ambition, and the future's so bright for rugby in Worcester. Like those girls that come in and like they're here all the time working really, really hard, and they're going to be the next chapter, aren't they? So it's really exciting for us.
How much does that cross over with the kind of the elite field and the team and the academy? How much are you working together?
Like especially over the summer, like we spent a lot of time together. There are players, especially if they're long-term injured players, we've got some front row that go and work with them all the time. Like we do masterclasses and stuff. Like we often go and support things like that, and it's a real community feel. Like Benny's like really good for us. She links with us and with them as well, so our links are quite close.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for your insight. I mean, I'm sorry I brought you close to your emotional edge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so glad things look like they're going in the right direction, as I'm sure most of the league are. And I hope the water duties get easier in the second half.
Yeah, me too. Really, me too. I hope I empty these pockets of gels and stuff as well. So.
Well, obviously we've got a second half to look forward to, but we're in that really exciting time of year, aren't we, where there's much more at stake at the international level. After the men's Six Nations is over, well, the women's Six Nations starts in March. The Red Roses are back, and they're going to be back with a bang.
Thank you very much, Lauren, and great to hear from Amelia Buckland-Hurry as well. And yes, it is the season for it, of course, the Men's Championship kicking off next week, but we are all looking forward to the TikTok Women's Six Nations and, of course, supporting the Red Roses on the England Rugby channels. They are playing Scotland, 25th of March, that one, up at Kingston Park, Newcastle. Make sure you get your tickets to come along. And against Italy, that one's at Franklin's Gardens in Northampton, 2nd of April. That one a 3 o'clock kickoff, and the big one, 29th of April, a 1 o'clock kickoff to start off Super Saturday, and it is at Twickenham. A standalone Red Roses International. We know they've sold 30,000 tickets, trucking towards 40,000. They've not even started marketing it yet, let's be honest, because enough of you out there are getting off your backsides, getting those tickets and getting on to support the Red Roses. There is a record from Eden Park, from a certain Rugby World Cup final in November to beat, and I suspect there might be enough women's rugby fans now around to break that record. Would be great, wouldn't it?
Totally, and I think for me it's so exciting, isn't it? You know, when it was first floated about, oh, the women go to Twickenham, a standalone game, a lot of people raised their eyebrows and thought, you know, a bit soon, but 30,000 people watching it. I know I played in that Barbars game 18 months ago, and there was about 30,000 there, which is probably the bottom tier, and it's an amazing atmosphere, you know, for the girls to be able to do that, to know there's such an interest in building into World Cup in 2025. I'm very envious.
Well, I think the second tier is officially open, so we are cruising towards that 40,000 mark, and my goodness, wouldn't it be amazing if it just starts to tip? Once everybody says, well, I'm going, are you going? Then we could see some serious records set, and yeah, as part of the Every Rose strategy from the RFU, it is all about building towards 2025, that home World Cup that is, it's only 2.5 years away now. It's absolutely zipping along, isn't it? Just a chance before the teams come out then to bring you up to speed with results and scores from round 9. TMP going down to Harlequins 5-49. Bristol Bears losing out in our match earlier to Saracens 5 points to 36. Things just not quite clicking at Bristol Bears at the minute. Wasps still in the mix, but obviously they have had a tough old time, and it's the Chiefs doing the job there. 24 points to 0, and Gloucester Hartpury, well, in our as it stands table with 19 points on the board against Sale Sharks. As the players come out below our graphic, confirmation, Loughborough Lightning leading 19 points to 7. Loughborough Lightning haven't won away from home in the last 5 matches. It's the longest run there's ever been. Having lost the first 5 in a row, they've won 2 out of the last 5, and they will be hoping to repeat that first half. More of the same, I imagine, will be the words from Rhys Edwards.
Yeah, definitely. I think he will probably be the well-pleased coach of the two in the first half. You know, he talked about Loughborough being more clinical with the ball, and certainly I think they were, and they got some good rewards. You know, they scored some nice tries. Probably a little bit more disappointed that they didn't take that last one before half-time, just to kind of almost put the game out of reach, I think, of Worcester. So for me, it's all to play for. I think Jo Yatt will probably be telling her girls that they need to be a bit more aggressive in defence. They need to get off the line. They need to stop letting Loughborough stretch the ball as wide as they are. And I think if they can do that, and and that Katie Mattison can manage that tempo a bit better, I think we could see Worcester really start to play themselves back into the game.
Well, Loughborough Lightning have been in the huddle. They've had the cheer, and they've all spread out ready for the second half to start, but we haven't got our hosts. Just huddled around the radiator in the changing room for a little bit longer, but Lana Skeldon does lead the side out. Turned 29 years old, Lana Skeldon, during the Rugby World Cup. She scored a couple of tries, Australia and Wales.
Here we go. Thanks. Rachel, ready, thanks.
The quality of service at Six Ways is pretty high standard as well, I can tell you, because our half-time hot drinks have arrived, and there's a former World Player of the Year who's decided to bring them to us. So nice to see you, Emily. Hope you're well. Matai Tonga feeding Rowley, who had that really bright first half with one try on the board as well. Away from Weaver, Nelson sensing a chance to get around Paige Farris, the Canadian international. Managed to scrag the Scotswoman. Rowley delays the pass as long as possible, and it's back in field for Cabella, just about as flat as it can be. Nelson once more, missed pass, will not find field. Oh, but it was picked up by Goldthorpe, but gone forward in the process.
Again, nice little start from Loughborough, wasn't it? They're starting to explore the short sides a little bit more, so coming back against the grain of play. And I think for Worcester, they probably just need to be a little bit more aggressive to get off the line. You know, Loughborough are making errors, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're being forced by Worcester. And I think to stay in this game, they just need to be a bit more aggressive in that defensive speed. You know, especially the likes of Lana Skeldon trying to lead that line up.
Incidentally, news in that first half that Sarah Moreira is on as a permanent change for Siobhan McCarthy, who went off for that HIA. That is a permanent change.
We done? We done? Okay. If we're down, we're scrummaging.
Just getting news down pitch side from Lauren Smith. It was indeed more of the same, the half-time chat.
Crouch!
But also the fact that they need to switch on defensively to those cheeky little Worcester quick taps that Katie Mattinson set up the first try from.
Same as them in the first half. This side
Free kick goes against Loughborough, as it did against University of Worcester Warriors for an early engagement. Option on the quick tap, Mattinson, Yamamoto looks to just find a bit of field in behind. It's well picked out by Westcombe Evans, up against Laughlin. Weaver, Cabella, really solid hit from Shermer. Penalty, Loughborough Lightning in their desperation to secure possession, doing so illegally.
And that all came from the tackle you just touched on from Shermer there. Good defensive tackle, stopped the momentum, and that means that Loughborough almost had to go harder into the breakdown, didn't manage to hold her body weight and get her hands on the floor. But I think we'll see a little bit more of that from Worcester. Well, I hope we will anyway.
That's you on the corner, thank you.
Well, this will be just what Joe Yap likes the look of. Opportunity to get the first score on the board in the second half. They have to get the line out right. It's really nicely done.
In the 15.
Looking to try and engage and continue to drive towards the line. The arm is out from the referee as Sarah Hunter is thrown around the corner. It's there for Mattinson. She's looking at her options. They've still got penalty advantage as Paige Farris looks to try and work her way through. Only met by the England captain. Mattinson for Skeldon. It'll be the dummy run, in fact, from the Scottish international. More options to the right, but they've still only got a man on defence. And it's good work from Williams-Morris to shoot up.
Thank you, good work.
Mattinson and Skeldon. They've earned their right to be in this area of the field, but they've got to try and find the composure and accuracy to get away over the line. Farris takes two to bring her down, tried to get the offload away.
It is knocked forward, but we come.
Come back for the penalty, and you just suspect that Warriors will probably go into the corner again here.
Yeah, definitely a nice little well-worked line out. I thought when they called to the back there, that's a big throw, isn't it? And that on Lana Skeldon, but absolutely nails it, doesn't she?
Number 8, Solitary, coming ahead of the back foot.
But I think Worcester, again, they're just chasing play. If you watch it here, all their forwards are getting left on the opposite side of the ball, and we know Paige Farris is such a good runner. She wants to get her hands free, probably potentially knows there's a bit of penalty advantage there, so takes the risk it. But I think their forwards, for me, have just got to work a little bit harder and stay connected to Katie Mattinson.
Oh, and that time, ball has gone against the Warriors.
Rachel.
Commentator's curse, wasn't it?
Okay, line out called, not straight.
How many? Numbers.
That's you there, yeah.
Crucial time for Warriors to have made the error. They will want to try and compete as best they can here. Nearly got a hand to it, but it's expertly taken by Rachel Malcolm.
Not the leg, 3, not the leg.
They'll look to try and find as much room away from that try line as possible for Weaver or Nelson to make the clearance.
Next stop as you go, okay?
Weaver checking in with the referee as Loughborough Lightning get a little bit of go forward.
Same ball, she was through the middle.
I'm good. I'm good.
Now it
Ball's out.
tends to go to ground, and in fact, University of Worcester Warriors are the first to react to the ball being out, and Moreira comes forwards with it. Mattinson under pressure. Yamamoto taps it backwards. Laughlin looks to try and get the offload away. It came squirting out the right side of the hand. Just lacking the composure in this area of the field.
Massively, and I'm sure Jo Yap is pulling her hair out somewhere. You know, Worcester are having opportunities there. They've had 2 line-outs. They've had a Paige Farris carry again there, Vicky Laughlin. But it's just that final pass, and it's that risk-free reward, isn't it, when you play this type of rugby? If you want players to get their hands free, but you also want to make sure that they've got their eyes and they can see the person they're passing to. And in this case, I think both Vicky Laughlin and Paige Farris there they just didn't get their shoulders back round, and again, ball's gone forward, and you're just handing possession to Loughborough.
And those observations, those sorts of skills, making the eye contact, it's as relevant and important on your grassroots Saturday afternoon as it is in the Premier 15s at Six Ways, isn't it?
100%. It's a foundation of our game. You know, we talk about offload and quick pace game, but it all comes back to your basics. Do you have the ball under control? Do you know what you're going to do with it? And are you linked to the person you're passing to? And, you know, when we talk about the best and the elite, the difference between that and the grassroots, in my opinion, is just their skill set. They've gone away and they've really honed that offload, that pass and that catch, and that's the fundamental of our game. You do that well, you do it quick, and that's what creates your space.
Time's back on. Okay, we have one each now. Height's better. We need that balance, okay, please? Maintain that balance.
Loughborough Lightning had 7 players in New Zealand. Likes of Hunter, Cabea, Scarrett, O'Donnell. Those were the Red Roses in that final. They've released the likes of Charlie Jacoby, Abby de Good, Lark Davis to Bristol Bears. Courtney Holtkamp is off on a bit of a year out.
Stay up, please, stay up.
Without the likes of Emily Scarrett currently. A fair amount of movement on it, and Sarah Hunter does what she is very good at, as Westcombe Evans comes up to the 22 and looks to just take it to the touchline. Hunter well in support of the players looking to make the next bust. Big throwdown onto the deck. Looking to put more on it. Matai Tonga tries to draw Faris, and then Rolly, and that's lovely work up against the grain, but then frustration from Rolly as she knows she's better than that.
She really is. I think she'd be massively disappointed with that. But again, we've seen what we've seen from Loughborough all day. Stretch in Loughborough because they're going wide. Worcester's defence can't go forward. They have to tread. Wingers are having to tread water. In that case, it's Lydia Thompson. Can't go and get anybody. She just doesn't have the support. And you look at that table, metres made. Loughborough have made 585 metres there, and to Loughborough's 450. So it is working for them.
Worcester Warriors will certainly not be losing heart. They just know that they need to get into the right areas and execute. Lovely ball back in field. Away from Faris. It's just loose from the Warriors again. Skeldon. Oh, that's nice. Just the awareness that they were under all sorts of pressure. If anything, just take another 25 metres off the tally and make Loughborough do it from outside their own 22. Good awareness from the Scottish hooker.
Really smart, and you know Lorna Skeldon is a very good goal kicker. We've seen her goal kick in a lot of Six Nations games, a lot of internationals for Scotland, so one with many talents. But yeah, really smart, making Loughborough go from inside their 22 and to just keep squeezing them, because one score in this game changes for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we have all eyes on it. Great to have you wherever you're watching on Premier15s.com. Hunter, call on the outside from Talling. Moreira's just
my fault entirely.
Been trodden on or something, certainly got a little bit of a limp on. Ball wasn't controlled. Lydia Thompson's going to have to get back there and help out Abby Kershaw. Loves the chance to run at a defence, does Thompson. Eyeing up the dummy, then Mathai Tonga comes shooting out the line. And they do manage to work to find a little bit of room on that outside. Halfway line, Mattinson. Sensing that Rolly had just come a little too far forward, but she recovered really well, and straight onto her bike she goes into the tackle. Not going to give up easily with that leg drive. Weaver really served the back line well for Loughborough this afternoon. Oh, it's a little all over the place from Kershaw, but was backwards, and then the pickup was forwards. Oh dear. Bit of fly half for the previous 3 matches against Saracens, DMP and Gloucester, but the read there from 15 just left a little to be desired, didn't it?
It did, and I wonder because of the light, whether she's just lost it in the lights there, because Abby Kershaw didn't look like she was in any position to catch that ball then, and like you say, once it starts to bounce, a rugby ball can do dreadful things to you and make you look very silly, and then she gets a little hand to it as well, so probably one she'll want to put in the bin quite quickly.
A couple of changes being made. It's actually the 2 co-captains who leave the field together, Mattinson and Skeldon.
That last one, you've got to keep that standard too. Better space, better.
It's not too bad when Joe Yapp can call on the 63 cap Karis Phillips to come on. And of course, Fionn Lewis. 28 caps for Wales, one of the professionally contracted players.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Loughborough also making change. Brian Field leaving with Maya Muller onto the field. Williams Morris feeds Nelson onto Rowley, accompanied by Mathai Tonga. Worcester trying to get in and get the turnover, and they will.
First player on the ball.
It's a fascinating area of the game, and in fact, a bit of indiscipline. It's going to see Loughborough march back another 10.
It is a great decision to jackal at that breakdown. Good chop tackle. You thought Chloe Rowley had won the momentum, really taken more yards out of Worcester, but again, what a good decision just to get over the ball and how much pressure it relieves for Worcester here.
Oh, it's a stunning take. We'll make a fullback out of you yet, Sarah Hunter. Malcolm feeds Wassell. Matai Tonga. Oh, it wasn't quite red. Lydia Thompson will love the chance to prey on this. Just thought about the offload, but will take it in.
Ball's out.
Ball was out.
Ball was clearly exposed behind the last foot.
And Chloe Rowley went to play player rather than the ball, though, so just had to wait as Flo Long carries and sets up the platform.
16, wait. Thank you.
Yamamoto, this could be a very interesting one as it just sits up in the 22. The race is on. Helen Nelson will get there first. Oh, and then shows the footwork. Steps inside Caris Cox.
Stay up.
And it's another really good counter-ruck from Worcester. Leah Bartlett staying in there to try and stop them making any further yards, but
Keep working, thank you.
again, probably the second best opportunity Worcester Warriors have had in the Loughborough Lightning 22 this half. They've got to show the composure here
Back foot, Loughborough.
if they're to stay in touch. Super kick from Yamamoto to put them in this position. And then the counter-up from the forwards. They've earned their right to be knocking on the Lightning door. And now a penalty advantage as well.
Hands up.
They look to play it. Can they step through and score? Yes, they can. Score from Paige Farris. Got a brace against Saracens last week. But that second try for Worcester Warriors this afternoon is going to really shape how the final quarter looks.
It really is, and it's a well-taken try, but for me, made by that kick by Yamamoto, you know, I thought she's starting to grow into this game. She's starting to pick off little bits of backfield space, and if you, I mean, we're not looking at the kick here, we're going back to the forwards pick and go, a lot more composure, but well moved, penalty advantage, and just, again, that footwork, isn't it? We talk about players beating defenders but being brave, and it's all about just changing that line, changing that point of contact so a defender can't keep straight and come off the line and hit you low, and she does that very well. But again, it was the kick, identified space, great change. We thought Helen Nelson had done a wonderful job but actually again that counter ruck that we've seen Loughborough do so well in the first half, Worcester did back to them, and it results in a score, so game on.
Big conversion for Yamamoto. 2 flags raised. University of Worcester Warriors up to 14. Loughborough Lightning on 19. And it's a contest befitting of 7th against 8th in the table now.
We'll make sure they're back on.
As Katie Daly-McLean said just after half-time, next score was critical. We often say it, but had it been a 4th try and bonus point from Lightning, sense that might have been one-way traffic from there, depending on the psychological impact it would have had to the home side. But now, right back in it, 5 points between the two. Fionn Lewis, her decision to feed Farris, proving to be the right one. That change for Loughborough that I mentioned, incidentally, Bryony Field for Maya Muller, has now happened. It's a little early with sharing that information, but Muller is now on. Lewis is eyeing up the box kick here. Nelson drops into the backfield alongside Rowley. It's going to be Chloe Rowley. Now for Nelson. Williams-Morris. Both Farris and Brinkat affecting the tackle. Oh, that's a really good offload from Helen Nelson, and well, there was nearly the chance for Rowley to get away, but Lydia Thompson was the first to react to the danger. Ball is on the floor, and it is being played by Loughborough Lightning, and the referee quite right to give the penalty, and there's a sense of increased hunger from Worcester Warriors.
There really is. They've just raised that tempo, and I think what's really well about their attack, Fionn Lewis has made a massive difference. You know, she's marshalling them forward. Great carry by Caris Phillips around the corner, good box kick, and then good line speed, and that hustle at the breakdown. They're really seeing the rewards. Referee is talking to both teams there, saying ball is out. In that case, I think Joe Brown gets a hands on for the whole non-penalty, but it all just comes from the work rate of just not saying, you know what it is, we're going to leave it, we're going to give Loughborough a clean ball. We're going to actually, Worcester are making it a fight, and they're getting their rewards for that hard work.
Like so, Tisha Harper waiting to make her entrance as well for Loughborough Lightning.
Happy days. Your name is?
And
lovely to meet you, Joe.
Seen Kath O'Donnell make her entrance yet? Also waiting to get on.
That looking alright? That's all good. Plenty of time.
Well, when a tally still on
Wait till the
currently.
water's off. All good. Time back on.
Big kick this one. She missed her last two to touch. Really big kick.
10-metre line.
Best to be short as the game tightens up, approaching the final quarter.
1 and 5 subs.
Caris Phillips throws a 90% as well into that Worcester line out, so they know 85% from Skeldon, 90% from your bench Hugo, which is a great start at this level.
Yeah, Caris Phillips did start against DMP, but has mainly been the replacement behind Lana Skeldon. It's good from Brinkat. Lovely ball from Lewis. Oh, and it's a solid carry as well. Excellent work, and then the decision on the offload from Caris Cox as University of Worcester Warriors come forward again. Been a mainstay of the team, Caris Cox, having come through in the under-20s with her director of rugby, Joe Yapp. Shifting to 12 with Hannah Block out. Parry's moving to 13. Yamamoto. Consideration of the offload from Cox that time, but held on to it.
Don't play the 9.
Now there's a
Okay, now you're off 17, thank you.
counter up momentarily. Fionn Lewis wasn't too sure about the referee's view of it. Farris has gone for a little dink over to the top. Westcombe Evans
Think in front.
got hold of it. But the kicking from both sides slightly aimless on that occasion, and Lydia Thompson will look to tidy up. Central position, this is a decent one for Warriors. They've got somewhere to go. That was a really important tackle from Belial. Moreira, Williams Morris bringing down the Portuguese.
Just slipped off.
And it's a tap. And Fionn Lewis is doing exactly what Katie Matheson was doing in the first half, but she's thrown it away. There are times when players could just do with holding on to the ball.
Tackle! Unlucky, unlucky. Nia just hit the floor.
Oh, Westcombe Evans was hoping to have run away with that one, but
Got a release.
knee on the floor meant she can't play the ball.
14.
We're seeing the beauties of the game, you know, we talk about what makes rugby so unique, and it is that swings of momentum, and we've definitely just seen that in this, coming into this final quarter, isn't it, that Worcester have taken the momentum away, you know, they've got more ball. I think Fionn Lewis and Caris Phillips off the bench have been phenomenal in their impact on the game, and again, a really crucial moment now, because we've got an opportunity to level the game.
Big moments. The changes have been made for Loughborough Lightning, incidentally. Kath O'Donnell onto the field, as is Tisha Harper, 2 red roses. Execution of the line out to begin with through Brinkat is exactly what's required. Maul is called. There's a breakaway, but they haven't got the ball. It's Caris Phillips who has stopped just a metre short. Then the quick pick and go, and Worcester Warriors have the try. It's Flo Long with the score. Brilliant stuff from the home side.
That will be a moment that Flo Long will want to remember, isn't it? You know, you talked about in the first half, but great instinctive thinking just to kind of not worry about slowing the ball down, not to worry about support, just keep the momentum going. But again, from Worcester's set piece, you know, again, we talked about Steve Hasley at the beginning, didn't we? But that line out was brilliant. We thought, in this case, Caris Phillips breaks. And again, it's just the speed, isn't it, to stop Flo Long from there. I think you've got 2 backs in there, yeah, Helen Nelson and Caris Williams Morris. It is a big ask with the height she's operating at.
It's one of those that works on the attack alongside Katie Mattinson. Well, there was no doubt about what was required there, and indeed, the tempo to know that the defence was resetting, go as quick as you can. And over she goes.
Especially when you just stay low, because I mean, obviously it's very current, isn't it, tackle height at the moment, but it's so hard for defenders to stop momentum, especially when you're operating just at a really low level.
It's a key conversion as well. Minori Yamamoto, as we said, only in the country again a couple of weeks ago with all the visa issues sorted. Third Japanese player to play in the Prem 15s after Ayaka Suzuki and Sachi Kato, of course. Given Worcester Warriors the lead for the first time in the game. 21 points to 19. Been such tense times around this club over the last few months. Getting the business on board to help support a 10-year future. Conversations with the RFU to hope that they can be offered a place in the Premier 15 3.0 from September. The players have stuck together, still playing at six ways. How they'd love to get the win over the line to continue the positive feeling. Nelson for Loughborough Lightning, who will have plenty more to say in this. Feed off to the right. Nelson just looking to get the fend out. Oh, it was just let go, and Jess Weaver knew it. The frustrated little clap of the hands just took her eyes off it.
Yeah, and it's just little errors that start to creep into your game when you start to feel a little bit fresher. You know, first half it was all Loughborough, they were on top, they were in control, but Worcester have come out in the second half, and like you say, I think it just catches. Oh, it's Bilal's shin. It's actually gone to lift. He's just caught the back foot of the player in front. And for Worcester, again, it just gives them a really good opportunity inside Loughborough's half to try and strike. And you know, Yakamoto's been kicking very well into that backfield space. Chloe Rowley is out back in that backfield on her own, so they've given her a lot of space to kick into.
Set. Stay high, stay high. Let's go, Worcester.
Worcester asked to play it.
Stay 9. Let's go, we've just gone round.
Fionn Lewis is wanting more than just to use it, and now the arm goes out. Quick pick from Rachel Malcolm. She's asking the question of the referee.
Steps around. Thank you, mate.
It's an interesting moment, that, because the referee ultimately asked Worcester Warriors to use the ball. So then if they don't, does he then have a decision to make? But he's then allowed them to continue playing it and then milk the penalty. Interesting one for our officials out there.
And I think that was Rachel Malcolm's point, wasn't it? You're saying play it, she's not playing it. But I think the referee's signal was that he's touched her, just fed that in, that he feels that the Lucette in that case has stepped around. So yeah, it is interesting and also frustrating from a playing point of view.
Couldn't be taken by Brinkat at the front, but then it was knocked on at the back. Loughborough Lightning at the minute just can't quite get the rub of the green, as see Carmen Tremelling just stays down momentarily. She's been a real consistent player for Worcester, playing across the front row, starting at tight head in 3 of the last 4.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, do that.
One of those who is a member of the 50 cap club. Worcester Warriors.
In terms of their
Vicky Laughlin, another one of those.
No, they're tight.
Interesting stat there, isn't it, that Worcester have won 8 of the line outs, Loughborough's 4. We're talking obviously at the beginning of the game that Loughborough had a much more accurate line out and had a much higher stat. However, we haven't seen that today at all.
Yeah, just I feel like because she's dropped on that side, our loose head then can't drive through, so that's why it's almost come around the other side.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Timing was the other way around for me, but we'll keep watching.
We're just getting to eavesdrop a little bit as Rachel Malcolm asked the questions of the referee.
But I think it's good discussion to have, you know, it's good captaincy by Rachel Malcolm to understand what he's seeing, but also just to try and influence the referee to say, look, this is what we feel is happening. But I think it's really good for the game, you know, these are the conversations you want with referees. You want to understand their thinking, because if you can understand their thinking, you can actually have an action for it. And I think as the game and the product grows, that's going to be really, really important in the women's game.
Okay, time back on.
Maya Muller against Karis Phillips.
Bind.
Both replacement hookers onto the field.
Set.
They'll be looking for the Welsh connection from Lewis to Phillips.
Okay, let's
And
go.
it is
Just
there.
go around on the mark. Thank you, Worcester.
Ready to be played away. Yamamoto on the switch with Faris. Nearly opened up for the Canadian. Not the quickest ball. They've gone for the little chip over the top now. Was anybody else on the same page? Oh, it might be Vicky Laughlin who is! What a finish! Celebrations tell you everything about what that means for Worcester Warriors.
Thanks, Simon.
In my head, I was thinking that is a dreadful decision. Why are you kicking that ball away? You're in the 22. And then there it is, the bounce of the rugby ball that nobody can ever predict. Great, I think it's planned, you know, it's a little call there, either for Fionn Lewis or Vicky Laughlin. Somebody has mentioned that.
I'm enjoying now how you're going to describe this as a really good decision.
What a great decision, what a great execution. Everything you want to see. And oh, it's one of those, isn't it, where that could roll forward and it goes dead and it's a 22 and it just sits up. Yeah, Helen Nelson there in despair. You can't do anything about it, you can't defend it. But, you know, we talked about rub of the green, and it certainly has gone Worcester's way.
She had the look on her face of someone who's just had someone nudge into them in a bar and make them drop the drink.
That they've just bought from the bar.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, great. It's the conversion from Yamamoto. It's Worcester Warriors up to 28. What a turnaround we're seeing here.
What a turnaround, and again, solid scrum from Worcester, you know, give themselves an opportunity to play. Again, referees talking to both players, but that great little carry from Faris again. That girl, Sarah Hunter, everywhere, makes the tackle to stop that, and then Fionn Lewis, what a lovely, well-weighted kick.
Advantage, first knock on, second knock on, we'll come back here.
Loughborough Lightning are going to be the ones with the scrum.
At 11.
It's a fourth try, of course, for University of Worcester Warriors. So, could be taking all 5 points from this game.
That last one, okay?
Leading now as they are by 9 points.
We found our space.
Let's go, Worcester! Let's go, let's go! Stay together, team! Let's go, Carmen!
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Nelson, oh, she might have just spotted the gap to go. Oh, it's worked out for Loughborough Lightning as Chloe Rowley's managed to slit the net. Look at a cut back in field, eventually tracked down. Lydia Thompson doing all the work defensively, and then the error comes.
Bad luck.
They had to get hold of the Scottish fullback, and eventually the error. Hairy moments for the home side as Loughborough Lightning were very close once more.
Yeah, the form Chloe Rowley has been in this game, you wouldn't have bet against a score in there, but all comes from Lydia's tackle. And as we watch it again, you know, Helen Nelson gets her head up early, she spots that Paige Farrow starts to backtrack, there's a half gap. Little offloads get a bit lucky there, and Lydia misses her the first time, but then the pace of her manages to chase her down, and I think the way Chloe's come back into that space makes it slightly easier.
Put her through the washing machine, bringing her down, isn't she?
They're the worst ones, the tackles from behind, when you know they're there, but you don't know how close.
Set! Come Come on now, let's go.
Good shot from Loughborough. Looking to ask questions. Lewis. Oh, it's not tidy. Came forward off the foot initially, and then it's been nudged forward. So after the error from Loughborough Lightning, it's met with one by Warriors.
But it's gone forward out of the hand first.
There's the explanation from referee Hamish Grant. Oh, there are a few nerves out there, Katie Daly-McLean.
They are, but that has come from the great work of Loughborough front row there, because they've put Worcester, I think, under such pressure there. I think Joe Brown, who's still at 8, hasn't felt the ability to be able to take off and pick, which we've seen Sarah Hunter do so well in this game. So Fiona has had to move the ball herself, and then she's been absolutely hounded by Jess Weaver at the back. So just forcing error upon error.
Just make sure it's the same for both your ball, their ball.
Well, the cheers you can hear are for the departing Japanese fly half Minori Yamamoto, kicking everything from the tee, distributing well. Has a standing ovation down below us for the player. There we go. And Sarah Nicholas is the one onto the field.
Fascinating call from Jo Yapio, because for me she has been phenomenal. You know, like I say, she's grown into it, and I must apologise for calling her Yakamoto for the majority of the game. Yamamoto, I'm very sorry, but she's been phenomenal.
You've got the northeast accent for Japanese names.
If I can get them right, that is.
Crouch.
Sarah Nicholas is still not bad.
That was good. That was
still
good.
not bad. It's multiple syllables are just great. Former Lichfield and Gloucester Hartbury fly half. Sarah Nicholas is the one on. Last started against Wasps in that 50-0 win.
Just gone sideways. No, we can't end like that. We've all gone sideways. Reset.
Desi Hibbert-Jones is onto the field as well for Loughborough, wearing 22. Signed from Sale Sharks. Just straight into the Casa del Loughborough, as they know it, with a few of the well, certainly the house has seen many a name.
Yeah, that house really has. Some legends have lived in there.
Who can you tell us?
Talika Menin, Emily Tutosi.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. Sarah Saboda, I think, was in there as well, or still is in there.
Great signing though, isn't she, Hibbert-Jones?
Yeah, a lot of potential. And the opportunity to learn from someone like Sarah Hunter and Rachel Malcolm is huge.
Away from Weaver, Nelson, looking like she means business on the switch.
Got advantage.
Bulumata Tonga unable to escape the clutches, and there is advantage being played as Kath O'Donnell ships it on. Then the kick out wide. Laughlin on the receiving end of a bouncing ball this time,
Back over here.
having to defend it, but it was under advantage. Big call here.
Loose head. Not driving straight.
Loughborough Lightning were able to trust the line out in the first half for Bryony Field to score. So Helen Nelson, no problem in making the same decision second half. They'll be hoping for the same result.
About 7 to go.
But it's lost at the top of the line out, and it goes forwards for Lightning. Moreira will tidy it up. Love the shimmy into the contact. Bit of Mediterranean flair.
Yes.
Fired back for the clearance. It's going to come down for Williams Morris. There is Hibbert-Jones. Warriors maybe a little narrow here if Helen Nelson can find the width. Westcombe Evans opts to straighten. Harper, O'Donnell. Oh, that looks like it could be the steal. It is. It's brilliant from Cara Brinkat. Oh, how about that? Speaking of Jo Yap during the week, she was saying they may be missing the likes of Charlotte Wright Haley and Alex Callender in the jackling ability. Well, no such thing with Cara Brinkat on the ball.
Not at all, and she'd just been told about 4 phases earlier that she must lift the ball. So she was unlucky, in my opinion, but that one was textbook, wasn't it? Got over the ball, got her hands onto the ball, not past the ball as we sometimes see, and lifted really well.
Nearly lost her balance, but she did really well. But fortunately for Worcester Warriors, a penalty. Kick didn't make touch, it's just handed the ball back to the visitors. They're only going to get so many opportunities. Warriors come up hard though, putting the pressure on. Now they look to try and find a bit of width. Oh, but the pressure on Westcombe. Evans forces the error. First try on the board of the afternoon. She scored 3 against Wasps in the Cup in September. First try of the day, but you can sense the importance of every catch and every carry. Just got to her there. Another change being made for Loughborough coming onto the field. Isla Curfey from the Isle of Man. Grew up on the family farm. Outdoorsy type. She is going to need to show some agricultural nous against this University of Worcester Warriors pack. If they are to affect the result of this one. Trailing by 9 points into the final 5 minutes.
Bind. Set. Stay in the front here. Stay square.
Fionn Lewis waits. Looking to just try and set up a move through the midfield.
Tackle. Thank you, Rachel. Get out now. Thank you.
Moreira. Fires it back. It was a little loose, but it did go backwards, and Paige Farris is doing everything she can to avoid dropping that ball. And it's there for Natalia John, who has done everything that the Warriors have asked of her all afternoon. Continuing to spread it with a bit of depth. Caris Cox comes onto the ball, looks to select the option and play out to the wider channel where... Is it Cash? Phillips was waiting. No, Joe Brown with the carry. There is Phillips. Lightning drive them back, but crucially for the home side, they're still in control, and that was high.
It's high.
And I think there may just be a momentary pause here, and it's a yellow card for Rachel Malcolm, and she will apologise.
We'll just take time off while we check out the Spurs, okay?
So just a bit of attention being required. Loughborough Lightning are going to have to finish this down to 14.
You alright? You good? Thank you.
Caris Cox back to her feet then.
Right. Okay, time back on. High tackle, number 6. Hands inside, play on.
It's another miss of touch, and Sarah Nicholas got an awful lot of height on that ball, but it rather needed to be going into, well, row J of the stand and have a lower trajectory, but either way, it's back with Loughborough Lightning, but they're inside their own 22, a long way to go from here.
Yeah, and I think what's going to be crucial coming to the close point of this game is the fact that Yamamoto kicked her 4 conversions. You know, so Loughborough need to score twice now to win this game.
They are trying to get going with Williams-Morris. Oh, but Lydia Thompson has spotted that the ball was out, wasn't quite going to back herself immediately. Could see that Detisha Harper had a metre or 2 advantage, and certainly not going to roll out the red carpet for the World Cup winner. But now Natalia John. Loughborough Lightning having to defend with 14. Oh, it just goes over the shoulder of Nicholas, who will have to straighten. We'll ask you for your player of the match nod in just a moment, Katie Daly-McLean.
I'll tell you in a second.
Have a little think for us.
I'm on it.
It's going to come up for Paige Farris.
1 minute.
Cox on the outside, who will help secure possession. Flo Long is going to be the option here. Try in that second half. Farris, Canadian once again.
Not now, 4-4.
She made her debut for Canada against England in 2017, Paige Farris. Faced the likes of Sarah Hunter that day, also Katie Mattinson, who is a teammate and partner, of course.
We have time for a restart.
Ball's gone forward then. Katie, who's impressed you this afternoon?
I think there's been some standout performances. You know, we can't. Sarah Hunter and Chloe Rowley for Loughborough, I thought have been very, very good. You know, just really got to work, and Chloe's try and assist have been brilliant. But for me, you know, if you look at that Worcester side, I thought John has been phenomenal. Everything she's been asked to do in that second row, Brincat turnovers. But for me, today's man of the match is Karis Cox. Anything good that's come from Worcester has come from her. She's carried well, she's defended, she's done the rubbish rucking, the bits you don't like, and I think she's been absolutely phenomenal. You know, her meters made and her involvements have been a real positive of Worcester coming back into this game.
Bind.
Karis Cox then,
Set.
Premier 15th player of the match. And we will billet Lauren Smith to have a word with the centre after the match. And look, when it's going your way, it's going your way. Real physicality and belief. And the tap of the ball into touch will round off the game, and the celebrations get underway at Six Ways. What a turnaround. Trailing at one stage, 7 points to 9.